Welcome everybody. This is our new member coordinator network. So this is just it's an informal group of people who do recruiting and retention around Rainbow Council. Anybody who does those roles is welcome to join us. It is an official role in scouting, but you don't have to have the role to be part of our coordinator network. So tonight we're talking about unit growth and what it takes to have unit growth, and we're going to talk to some of our top growing units as of September and see what their secrets to their successes, as well as brainstorm some ideas for all units on how we can have growth. So I wanted to start out by sharing my screen because we have this wonderful infographic that we created at Rainbow Council. And this is what unit growth is. This is why we want to have unit growth. It's not just about, sharing the program with new scouts is very important. Obviously, we want all children to have the ability to be in scouting, but unit growth can actually improve your program, reducing costs for people, having more leaders to help share the load. It can help, get more people to do the fundraising. Again, those fixed costs can go down and kids have more fun because there's more people to share the program with. So I thought this was a really great infographic that we put together. Also share that, how does National and Rainbow Council define growth? So what we're really talking about here is looking at your roster from 2024, your official Scouting America unit roster as of December 31st, compared to today. And hopefully by the end of this calendar year, we want to see at least +1 growth. Did you start with 50 and now you're at 51? That's what we're looking for when we talk about growth. And the more growth you have, obviously, the more you can move over to that growth side of this chart to have more leaders, more scouts to share the load. So that's what we're looking for. And I reached out when the September numbers came out. I reached out, and we have Act 94 is with us, James, and Troop 75, Liz, are here with us today. So I wanted to welcome you both because you were on the top of our list for growth in September. So we wanted to talk about first of all, for both of you, was growth and retention, was it a top priority or just something you always did? Has it changed in 2025 to build this growth? Something new?
I don't think, we always want kids. Elizabeth, you can go first. Go ahead. Sorry. Ladies.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, James. Go ahead.
So I'm blessed as Cub Master to have a committee chair in Kelly Hollingshead, who is absolutely fantastic. When our issue was back when our older sons crossed, we lost our committee chair, our Cub Master, our events coordinator, our webmaster. We lost 5 to 6 key members of the committee. So I was actually pegged to be, or job I wanted was treasurer. And then we had someone else volunteer for treasurer, and then they begged me to be Cub Master. So I took on the task. But I pretty much show up and run the meetings. Kelly does everything else. So that's why I wish Kelly was on this call. But she did give me a whole list of things here to talk about. If you want me to talk about them now, I can, or later on. But we've really just tried to spread the word with more Facebook activity, with our own kids when we're at events around town. But the main thing that I'll just read it, I guess. Like the best advice that we can give for recruitment is to make sure that you reply ASAP to both email inquiries and send out an email text within 1 day of a recruitment event to anyone who submitted their information. In the past, our issues were people would be like, "Why I emailed you guys and never heard back. I emailed you guys and never heard back." And I don't know who was checking emails prior to Kelly and I taking over, but once we took over, I think a year and a half ago, we both reply within a couple hours of getting an email from a scout or a parent asking about us. She always has upcoming dates to come back and check out availability at recruitment events when she sends the emails. She says she encourages people to check out the group before they register with us to make sure it's a good fit. And while they're at the event, we make sure to realize the value in joining and its worth with the registration cost. We've emailed interested kindergarten parents the second time this week because fall sports are ending, right? So Kelly and I are also heavily involved. Our kids are big baseball players within the area, and we know other parents are too. And some people don't like to do multiple things at once. So now that the baseball season's over, we had, I think, 18 email addresses that we got at our kindergarten night that we were at. And a lot of them are like, well, we're doing this, we're doing this. So we remembered that, and we sent another email now saying it's not too late, you can still come. We also do well explaining how we set ourselves apart from the other pack new Linux. I mean, they're great. And my son actually goes to den meetings with Pack 6 because he's the only AOL we have in Pack 94. His was a COVID year, so he's the only one that stuck it out, mainly because we made him. So he actually goes to Pack 6, and I love Ray. They do a fantastic job. But the one perk that we have is our fundraising and how we do what we do to cover the cost of everything. So that when I had all 3 kids in Pack 94, when we do our fundraising, they would cover the cost by just working storefronts for stuff, and we would not have to pay anything. So that's always encouraging, and to help parents know that there's a way to cover the cost of it. Encouraging others that we do encourage them to check out both packs. But we're very confident with our program, as well as having the ultimate goal of offering as many kiddos the opportunity to join Scouts as possible. I mean, because some dens, their den might meet a different night than our den. Their pack nights might be during the week. Ours is always Sundays at 5:30. Sometimes that's a negative. You want me to come out on a Sunday dinner time or family time, but that's just when we meet. And then a breakdown. We had 13 new Scouts this fall. 3 of them came from the February kindergarten parent info night. 2 of them came from our national night out. 2 of them from the current Scout recruitment. 2 of them have older siblings who were previously in Scouts. 2 of them are sisters that are half sisters that are in a Girl Scout program. And our back to school PTO bash was canceled this year. Last year we were able to get 2 Scouts from there. We have another 2nd grader that came to our pack night this past Sunday at our Halloween pack night. We had a 2nd grader come check us out who I coached in Rebels last year, and the parents remembered that. And then they came to check us out. So he'll probably be joining us now too. And then just talking to other parents, I was talking about, I had this meeting coming up with growth. What do you think we do differently? And Kevin Clow, who was with us, and then he came back. Now his younger son's here. He goes, Trout, I'm going to be honest with you, man. It's you. It's like, he's like, you're so involved throughout New Linux. Everyone knows who you are. And if you talk about something, people listen and they like you. So they're going to give it a shot. So I'm not trying to say I'm awesome, but I'm the VP of Mustangs for the New Linux Rebels. I've coached all 3 of my kids throughout Mustang, which is the age right before you can start Cub Scouts. So, or right after you can start Cub Scouts. So I mean, I'm always pumping us. I'm always wearing Pack 94 gear when I'm around, if I'm not wearing Rebel stuff. So he credits me. I don't like the credit. I don't like taking credit for anything, but because mostly it's Kelly doing everything behind the scenes. We are set up now. We have one of the things you had in there is parent volunteers. We are heavily parent volunteered. We have a big volunteer group now. Our committee meetings tomorrow night. I already have my replacement in his name is Kyle Graben. His dad was an Eagle Scout. He was an Eagle Scout. So he's my assistant Cub master now. And the writings on the wall, we've already had a talk about it at our last camp out that, my son right now is a bear. So as he progresses, probably next year is what we're deemed as when I'm going to pass the torch to him, and maybe we reverse roles. That way I can kind of ride off in the sunset. I mean, because what I do well is fundraising. That's what I want to concentrate on. I want to work on that part of it. But I'm sorry if I kind of went off the rails, but hopefully that answers a lot of questions.
Awesome. That was great. So many good things to hit on there. First of all, one of the things you mentioned was a quick turnaround on response time.
Uh-huh.
And this is something as a council and national marketing research has shown, and the council is really putting a focus on, of 48-hour turnaround time max for responding to new families. So if you have an event, follow up the next day. If they're filing leads, follow up the next day. And those leads are becoming more and more important as National rolls out their marketing campaigns to push everybody to beascout.org. If you've seen David Montgomery on the thing, and there's videos on Disney Plus and ESPN, all pointing people to beascout.org, which is just showing a massive increase in online leads and applications. We want to get those response times down to 48 hours so that families, they ask about us on Sunday, and by Monday we're responding saying, come check us out. Here's who we are. What questions can I answer? So I think that's great that you guys have already realized that and you're putting the emphasis there.
Yeah, it has
I
to be because like our past people didn't do that. And I love them. I'm friends with them, but I mean, a spade's a spade, and they did not reply well. And for us, especially myself, I'm in sales. I've been in sales for a steel company in Chicago since 2003, and then in 2011 I opened a DJ company where I DJ weddings. So like when I get inquiries from brides and grooms, I have to reply right away, because if I don't, I'm off their radar. So like we understand how important it is for parents, especially with busy schedules. Like for instance, me with 3 boys, or other people might have the same. They're always running around, so you have to reply and get them when they're concentrating on and thinking about you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it sounds like some of the stuff you're doing, like you invited them to your PAC meeting. It's not extra things necessarily. Right. A lot of it is inviting people to your current events, which I think is great, because we all have too many scout things on our radar. So having to add 3 more recruiting events, sometimes we just don't have time for that. But I love that you're encouraging your scouts to invite people. You're inviting people to come to the things you're already doing. And it sounds like she's already got that list ready for when there is a inquiry to say, here's the next 3 things. I love that. And then succession planning. I think that, that, because it's not all about, when we talk about growth, recruitment for the PACs and recruitment / bridging, when we talk about the troop level, bringing the kids in is only half of the equation, right? We have to retain them. So we have to have a strong program. We have to have strong leadership. Sounds like you're doing great on the volunteer side, and thinking about succession planning so that can continue beyond you. I love hearing that.
I don't want to go through with what we went through after our oldest, because I mean, we're talking at PAC nights about what's coming, about how all of us we had all the committee that were crossing stand up, like all these volunteers are gone. When their scouts cross, they're gone too. So all of them need to be replaced. And if we don't, then the PAC might fold, and we don't want that. So we really need people in this room to step up and come forward. And eventually, like I said, we had everything filled with Cub Master. And then Kelly called me and she's like, you want to do it? I'm like, I do, but you're talking to the wrong trout. You got to convince my wife to let me do it. With how, with the DJ company and the other job and the Rebels and everything else that I do. And they're friends. So they talked and basically came to a conclusion that, I'm able to help with fundraising, and I run PAC night, and the Kelly does everything else. And that's what she's been doing. But now Kelly also has help. She has like almost like an assistant committee chair in Heath Hunter, who's running with the food drive. He's doing a whole lot for her. So it takes a lot off her plate too, because between the 2 of us, we didn't have a lot of time to begin with to be doing this, but we found it. And now we have a lot of help. I actually have 2 assistant Cub Masters and Kevin Clow too. So, I mean, we're like, and they both do different things, right? They're both good at different stuff, which is great. So, no, we're in a good point right now. That my plan is to keep it that way, at least until my kid crosses, so that, I can ride off in the sunset with my last kid, and PAC 94 be in great hands.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're definitely on that path. So congratulations for your growth this year, and thank you for all your insight.
Thank you.
Let's talk to Liz. Liz, you guys had some great growth as well this year. I think you had, as of September, you were +6. So that's fantastic. Has Troop 75 really changed things this year, or is it just a continuation of stuff you've always done?
For Troop 75, it's a continuation of what we've always done. We make sure that we have close ties with the PAC that's in Bolingbrook, which is our only PAC 134, and where I came from with my scouts. And pretty much we've been making sure that we have a lot of parental support in regards to making sure in committee that whatever the scouts need, we make sure that we provide and also be timely with it. Timeliness, I agree, is very important. On the troop side, I would say it's timeliness with getting out requests, like permission slips, payments, communicating just to the parents of here's what we expect to encounter this year as far as cost-wise, because as you get into troop level, it's not cheap. So we've tried to make sure that our Scoutmaster communicates well with our scouts to ensure that they have a good planning day it's typically in August for summer camp, because we know summer camps pretty much release and get deposits in by September 1st. So we make sure that they communicate with regards to that so that all the parents know, and the scouts as well know how much summer camp is going to be. And then we make sure that we communicate out the following year's worth of planning in September and October to the parents so that they're aware of what their scout needs to work on. If they're doing popcorn sales, like how to build their scout accounts. We encourage a lot of parents to reach out to family members, like when it's Christmas time. Hey, if mom and, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle want to go ahead and provide a Christmas gift, but they're not sure, help build little Johnny's scout account so that he can enjoy all these adventures, because it doesn't have to be expensive. And it doesn't also have to come out of your own, budget. So we start talking to the scouts more about, like, think about what you want to do and help them also communicate with their parents, because we preface it as troop level is like the bridge to middle school and learning how to be responsible. And we try to empower the scouts as much as possible with understanding, what's going to be required of them. And, one of the requirements is to bring a friend to a meeting so that we can introduce them to scouting itself, which has actually turned into new recruits, new scouts in our troop. And siblings also help, especially when they're in a pack, and then they just bridge over to us as well because they have another family member in the troop along with cousins. We found that to be very successful with making sure that we're flexible with a lot of the families as well that are involved in fall sports, letting them know that they don't have to be at every single troop meeting, because we understand that a lot of scouts are in baseball, are in football, are in soccer. We get hit pretty hard, I want to say, at the troop level with retention. So we try to make sure that we encourage a fun year of activities that they want to do, because this is their troop, it's not ours. And so we encourage them to bring their ideas to the table in order for them to plan something. There's no bad idea. There's your answer won't be, you won't know what it is until you talk to us about it. So we try to make sure that there's a clear, open communication with the scouts, that they can ask questions when they're at troops, so that, at the troop meeting, so that they know that any adult who's there, providing the 2 Deep leadership, can answer questions for them. In addition to keeping our parents, abreast, we invite all AOLs over to an electronics campout that we have, where the scouts can bring any electronic item that they have that they want to play with or watch or do something, obviously under guidelines. And we invite them over to just see that it's not always about scouting. They can have fun together as well. And so we also started this year partnering up with the pack for camping requirements that the scouts need, and Cub Scouts, to see what else they need, because I believe their requirements changed for cooking and stuff. So pardon me, I have 2 dogs that decided to play right now. I'm gonna go find a different spot. So
So what I'm hearing from you, similar to James, it sounds like he mentioned as well, and I missed it, commenting on it before, that you're both very flexible with the scheduling. You understand
Yes.
that families are busy today, and it seems like maybe post-COVID seems like way more, everybody's way overcommitted, much more than they were in 2019. Maybe it's just
Right.
my perspective, but it really feels like everybody's way overcommitted. So having that part of your recruitment, having that understanding, doing that follow-up, that you can do baseball and scouting, you can do football and
Yeah.
scouting. We'll be here when you're done. We'll be flexible when you have a night off. I think that seems to be very important for today's busy families. You also mentioned that fast turnaround time, and it sounds like you're building a strong youth leadership in your troop, which is very important to the program, but also seems to be helping bring them in and partnering with them on recruitment. It sounds like bringing a friend, inviting their siblings. And then both of you mentioned strong connections with another pack in your town. Liz more for bridging, obviously. And then James, I like that you have obviously a partnership because your son's in the den, but knowing it, and it's not competition, James. It sounds like, it's a real like knowledge, because we want kids to have that understanding of, here's who we are. There are other options. If Tuesdays don't work for you, they're Wednesdays, that kind of situation, to help to make sure we're not excluding somebody because they don't like something about our fundraising, or they don't like the night that we meet. I think that's a great option as well that you've mentioned, James.
Right. And what we've done too is like when people have requested to join my son's den, right? Where we tell them he's the only scout we have in his den. So you're welcome to join Pack 94 and attend our Pack nights, but they go to den meetings at 6. And we've actually, or we say, or you're welcome to meet 6 and just go there. Like, I'm like, Ray, I'm sending you another scout. Like, you're welcome, right? So it doesn't matter to him. We just want kids to join scouting and get the experience. Like that year was hard. The COVID year hurt. We couldn't recruit. We couldn't go to kindergartens. We couldn't get out. We couldn't do the things that we do best, which is talk about scouting. So, like, it was just hard. He was the lone wolf. So until I had the idea, I sat there and I reached out to our Cub Master, Mike Drymiller at the time. I said, can you talk to Six's or Cub Master and see if it's possible for Lucas to join their den, for meetings, and then he can dual register for both troops, or and be able to go. So we lucked out there that it did, because I don't know if you would have continued with scouting being the only one. Like, what fun is it listening to dad on your kitchen table doing stuff if you can't go do stuff with a bunch of other kids? The other stuff that we offer too, and we always put it on social media and also send it out, is, we do fishing club, we do hiking club, we had a chess club last year that we're starting up again because the person that ran that did unfortunately leave because of other commitments. We have a book club there in the summer, stuff like that. So there's a lot of different things that we do year round to keep kids engaged. The fishing clubs become very popular. Hiking club, they get a hiking stick after 15 miles that they accumulate throughout the course of their hiking career. It's just a broomstick with like the twine on the end, but the kids dig it, and parents usually end up carrying it after the first 5 minutes of a hike anyway. But it's just stuff that we do to help make it fun, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's the same no matter what activity you're involved in with kids, whether it be scouting or baseball. It's everything that we do as adults should be centered around making the experiences the best possible for the kids that are involved.
Awesome. I totally agree. All right.
I'm going to add to that too, Melissa. One thing that we've done, or actually I have done, is try to make sure that we have a pretty solid footprint on social media. Anytime we're doing something, whether we try to tap into the resources that we have around us, especially with our village. If the village for a while was having a winter walk, we volunteered to put up a display where we advertised Troop 75, Rainbow Council. We had a Christmas tree we decorated. We put a tent, and we made sure that our name was out there. In addition to, we switched from when COVID hit, we used to host a chili supper in our town, and invite all the officials to make sure that they attended, and our presence was there. During COVID, we shifted to a pancake breakfast, and we now also shifted so that it's during a 5K that's done in our town, and we hand out flyers so that people know who we are, because we actually don't attend any sort of school open houses with the table. So we've been trying to maximize any sort of social media footprint to the maximum level, with getting involved with our village as well. We handle their s'mores fires during the tree lighting ceremony.